Hello and welcome to the last session of this Decoding AI event. And today we'll be looking at how to create chatbots using a free platform from Google, and that is called Dialogflow. So, welcome to the last session. I hope you all enjoyed it. And let's look what we have in store for us. So, let's see. So, I'm going to share my screen. So, conversation agents, or in other words, it's also called chatbots, are the latest AI applications. So, basically, what conversation agents are, they are the machines, and that mimics the human conversation. So it gives you a human touch to the interaction between a machine and a user. So why is it being considered the latest technology, and why is such a hot topic these days? Because there are times when, suppose in the case of a business, you don't have a person at the other end who is going to answer all the simple questions like where are you located, what are your office hours, or what are your if it's a shop, that what are your business hours, and the directions to your store, and what are the different products available. Now these are very simple questions, and from the perspective of the shopkeeper, it's not if he starts answering all the questions and picking up the phone, that takes a lot of time. Also, the person may not be available 24 by 7. Whereas, from the perspective of the end user, which is using the chatbot, can first of all, they can use it 24 by 7. And the other thing is, they don't have to scroll all the web pages to get a single information. So the best part about chatbots are they ask you precise question, and they give precise answers, and they you can use it for asking the pointed questions. So that is why they are becoming a very hot topic. So today's objectives will be, we will look at the chatbot building platform, and that is called Dialogflow. It's a service by Google. And how we are going to use Dialogflow, I will take you through the interface, how you are going to use that platform. And then we'll discuss some of the basics of creating chatbots, that what you should be remembering when you want to have a chatbot for your company or for your website, what main things you should remember. And then we are going to create a working chatbot. So the best part about Dialogflow is you don't have to be a very seasoned programmer, or you don't need the programming background. It's just we are going to use common sense, and you will see you will have a working chatbot. So let's talk about Dialogflow. It's a natural language understanding platform, and it can be integrated with different interfaces, and it is designed by Google. So the right now, many of the functionalities of Dialogflow are still in testing phase, that is beta phase, but they can be used and integrated with different devices like mobiles, and you can use it with web applications. You can use it on Facebook Messenger, you can use it on a Slack. So there are different platforms where you can integrate your bot by designing it on Dialogflow. So that is the best part. And the different kind of inputs which the Dialogflow understands, the agent created by Dialogflow It takes text, audio, as well as images. So the input can be in the form of either text or audio or images. So the response can also be in different ways. It can be either a text, it's totally up to you how you design it, or with a speech. So we will be implementing or integrating our chatbot with web interface as well as with Google Assistant. We'll test it for Google Assistant also. Now, there are two different kinds of services offered in Dialogflow, where one is a basic standard agent type, and it's called ES, Dialogflow ES. It is for creating simple and small agents. And Dialogflow CX is for creating advanced chatbots. So we will be using ES because we are just going to create a very, very simple chatbot. So when I say conversation agent or when I say chatbots, basically I'm referring to the same thing. So these are some of the things you have to remember when you will be designing your chatbot. So first is, what is the purpose of your chatbot? You have to first decide about on what kind of different functionalities your chatbot will have. Suppose I want to design a chatbot for my department in our office. Now, there will be several things associated with the office: the name of how many people are there, the list of people working there, the different jobs that or the services provided by the department, or the name of who's the head, who is in the finance wing. So these can be some of the things which you may want your chatbot to answer. So the first thing is, before you start actually design making it or you start implementing your chatbot, the first is you have to figure out work layout or the purpose, and then you have to write it down. Either you can write it down or you have it in front of us. So first, this is the first thing which you have to do when you are into the process of creating a chatbot. Then you design it. That is where you actually start implementing the goals of your chatbot. So that is the design phase. So it's always better before you start designing, if you have every objective of your chatbot in front of you, that makes it really good. It will help you in designing. And then you deploy it. Deploy means you will be integrated it with different interfaces. So if you want to embed it in your website, or if you want to integrate it with your Facebook Messenger account, or if you want to integrate it with your Slack account, or you want to integrate with Google Assistant. So these are the different services available. Not every service or not every integration is free. So web interface is free. Similarly, you can embed it in your website. That is also free. But the rest of the different integrations may require some kind of fees. So we are going to create a very simple chatbot, and that is Pizza Shop chatbot. So before we actually start looking at Dialogflow, this is what we want to do. So I would suggest that if those who are working with me can just click this dialogflow.cloud.google.com, and then you will sign in using your Google account. And I will take you through those steps when I will log in into my account. So you don't have to create any other account. Your Gmail account, email ID will be used, and Gmail account will be used to sign in. So when you sign in, you will see a screen like this. So they will be on there are three basically separations of the screens. One is the left side, which has several options, menus given there. Then we have a middle space where you will be, it is basically the design phase, design screen where you will be creating a lot of instructions. And this is called the test screen, which is a simulator where you will be testing your chatbot. Before actually releasing it, you will be testing the different options in a chatbot here. So this is a Dialogflow interface. So let's go through it. So on the left hand side, if you have your screen open and you have signed in Dialogflow, then you will see on the top left, there is, so on the top left, there is a gear icon, which is settings. And when you click that icon, you will see the middle part. And there you have several options on top. General languages, machine learning, export and import, environments, speech, share, advanced. So this is the middle part, and these are the different options of the settings. So as you can see, there is a description where you can describe what this chatbot is going to do. And then this is a default time zone. So it will pick up from your IP address. It's going to pick up the default place and default time zone. But if you want, you can always change it if it's not getting the correct answer. This is very useful because when you want to schedule appointment reminders with your chatbot, then having the correct time zone is very important. So you may want to change that or check it. Then this is enabling beta features in APIs. So we will be using it. You will see where I'm going to use it. So all the services which are currently offered in Dialogflow and they are in beta phase, basically trial phase. So they will be enabled from here, and I will show you one of these functionalities. Then the last one is danger zone, which is delete agent. If you want to delete your agent. Now agent is basically referring to, again, we are referring to the chatbot. So now basically in general, we call chatbots as conversation agent also. So here in Dialogflow, the name of the chatbot is basically, we are trying to say that it's a agent name. So we will refer to this as agent. Creating agent is similar to creating a chatbot. Then there are different language options available. So the default language is English, and then there are several types of languages available. So if you want to change the language of your chatbot, you can always do so. So it's very easy to make the same chatbot in different languages. Then we have share. Now share is, you can share it with different people. If many people are working on creating the same chatbot, then you can always share it with others also. So I thought maybe these are some of the simple as well as very useful functionalities or the services provided on this interface, which you can use. So next is a very important definition, which is called intent. So this is the first step. So first step is you created the agent name, and then comes the next thing is intent. Now, what is meant by intent? So intent is basically the category of one conversation series. So intent defines the purpose of that particular conversation. Okay, so suppose somebody is asking you the address. So you can define the intent of the conversation as address. Now, this question can be asked in different ways. So first you have to define the intent. So intent just takes care of a similar asking questions which caters one category of your questions. For one agent, you can define many intents, because if your chatbot is for different purposes, and you may want to create different intent. Each intent is designated to one type of one kind of job. Okay, and you will see it will be more clear to you when we are designing the intents. The main thing which you have to be very careful about is don't make two intents asking the same question. That means the request should not overlap in two different intents. Okay, so suppose you created an intent address, and you created another intent about the different offices. So then it becomes really confusing, because chatbot, your Dialogflow will get confused that why, which intent should I match this question to? So overlap of intents should not happen. So it's clearly specified that one intent should handle one purpose of conversation. And these set of intents will handle a complete conversation. So multiple intents may be used for designing or having a single agent. Now, there are different parts of intents which we will see. One is training phrases. This is a very important part of your chatbot. Training phrases are the different phrases or the questions which the user may ask you for the same answer. Okay, and I will show you that how what is meant by that. So these are the different ways. Now we have, that is called training phrases. That means we have to train our chatbot, because there is no one way with the user can ask. So suppose a user is asking for the address. Now there can be many ways the user may phrase this question to the chatbot. So we have to supply enough types to the chatbot in training phrases so that the chatbot understands that what exactly the user is asking and what response should I be giving. So that is one of the things which is very important. That is why you have to give sufficient training phrases. So this is up to the we as a developer or we as a creator, that we think of as many ways as we can uh, about from the user's perspective that how this question can be asked. Then we have action, which is defined for each intent. So basically, it's like executing mechanism that, okay, if intent is matched, then what the action is going to be taken. Parameters is basically the different values which are extracted from the user, the person who is using the chatbot. And we will do that in detail when I'm explaining this, the actual creation. And then last comes the response. So we have to define what response will be given for this intent. So let's move on, because in between of these slides, I will take you to the dialog flow so that you understand what we have done so far. So this is basically, it's a very simplified diagram that shows there are some multiple intents, and each intent maps to training phases, action parameters, and response. Training phrases and response is the mandatory part of your chatbot creation. Otherwise, there's no way the chatbot will be able to answer question. That is our part, which we have to do. So let's take some examples for pizza shop. So somebody says mocha coffee, please. So definitely, this is shows the intent of there is a order of coffee. So we may create one intent which is saying order coffee, and we'll put some training phrases where it captures the end user's request of ordering coffee. Then there can be another type of intent, which is nutritional details, where somebody is asking for calories. So we can create one more intent which handles all the queries regarding calories. Then another intent can be order pizza, which is if somebody is requesting for a pizza. And these I have given just one training phrases, but you will see that we are going to give a lot of providing a lot of training phrases, so to make our chatbot handle all kind of requests. So just do it with me, and then we will go to the Dialogflow platform, and then the same things we are going to do. So again, it's the best part about Dialogflow is it has the very simple interface, and you can create very complex chatbots from it. So as you can see on the left hand side, the menu side, it has all the different menus. So when we have created an agent name that is testbot. That will be the name of our agent. And then the next step is, so creating the agent was just giving the name, saving it, and then we are done. Now we are going to create the intent for each this test bot. So I'm going to add click plus in this left hand side intent, and then I will get this the middle portion of the screen will have different options, and there will be a space intents, and then on the right hand side there is something called create intent. So we are going to click that, and then we are going to name the intent. So if suppose we want to handle all the request of pizza ordering, so we will create an intent. Now make sure there are several ways to name your agent. Okay, so make sure you follow those norms. There are very simple couple of norms. Don't try to create your agent with a name that has a space in between. So either put a dot or you put a underscore. Just create your agent with a single name. Now there are two default intents which are built in your system, and we'll discuss about that in the next of the slides. And then when you are done with creating intent, then you can test in a simulator by just giving it a query. So default intents, let me talk a little bit about default intents. So there is default welcome intent and default fallback intent. So what is default welcome intent? So there are some training phrases already given in the Dialogflow console, and they are already embedded with every agent, and they are default, they are already there. So basically this is to start conversation with a chatbot. So suppose the user says, just to start the conversation, user says hi, then the example of welcome intent can be, how are you? Hello, what can I do for you? How can I be of help? Or hi, how are you doing? Just to start the conversation. Or this is basically the chatbot is greeting the user. So these are the greetings which are already there, but you may want to personalize those greetings. So you may want to add your own welcome intent. So if you want to add it, you are free to do so. So suppose this is ABC Pizza Shop. So you can say, okay, welcome to the ABC Pizza Shop. That can be your default welcome intent. Okay. So you can always add that. Then there are some fallback intents. respond. Now, hello, how are you are the responses. So suppose what happened that your chatbot didn't get what user is asking because you have not trained your chatbot to that particular question. So in the situations where your chatbot is not able to match the intent with already existing intents, or it's unable to understand the user question, then it's going to give the default answers. And the default answers can be, sorry, I did not understand. Can you repeat that one more time? What was that? Sorry, I didn't get that. And again, if you want to make it personalize it, you can always add your fallback intents. So this is, okay, now let me give you some examples of training phrases and responses, and then we'll start with creating. So for example, to order pizza, there can be many ways a user can ask question. Can I have a slice of pizza? Pizza, please. I want to order pizza. I want a pizza with tomatoes and cheese. Are you taking order of pizza? I want to take away pizza. And then you have to think what other ways the same question of ordering pizza can be asked. Now you have to, so this is just example of 5 or 6 training phrases. So you may want to add more to it, because so that is where you can do a survey, or you can ask your friends, or you can get feedback from others that what are the different ways somebody can ask about pizza order. So we will be training, I have taken 5 or 6 training phrases, and we'll try to answer that. And if our chatbot encounters a different way of asking, then it's going to go to fallback intent, or it's going to give wrong answer. So if your chatbot is behaving weirdly and giving random answers, that means your chatbot needs training, more training phases. Okay, so that is why this is very, very important that you train your chatbot with correct intents and correct phrases. And then you can add responses. Yes, we are taking orders. What kind of pizza you want? Or you can say that, okay, you can pick up your order. So whatever the, based on the question, you can always add responses. And then you can test your agent. So as I said, after every intent, you can ask your, test your agent in simulator and try to ask questions which are similar to the training phrases. If it is giving you the correct answer, then your bot is trained. You can try for other type, rather than the same type which you have trained, you can ask the, test your bot with different questions. Okay, so entities. Okay, I'll introduce this to you. So basically, this is the important information which is extracted from your user. So suppose somebody says, so this is basically specific information that is entered by the user, and you can capture that information, and you can always use that information in answering the questions or storing the values. So suppose, for example, the user said, I want a pizza with mushroom and cheese. So you have to create an entity, and we will create entity pizza topping, which has 2 examples, mushroom, cheese. And there can be many other examples of pizza topping, and you can always enter those, so that if your some user enters those information, then you can always reuse it. So in entities, there can be different type of entities in pizza ordering, especially pizza ordering. The number of slices, name of the user or the person who is on ordering, what kind of crust you want, what will be the top pickup time or delivery time. So these are some of the things which can be used as entities. Entities is basically a very specific information. They are very good because if your chatbot is giving generic responses, then the end user may not like it, and the whole idea of providing the human touch to your machines, it's not serving the purpose. So it's always a good idea to create entities with your chatbots so that there is a little bit of personalization. And we'll see that again, it's create entity. So there are two ways to use entities. One is by default, there are some entities already provided in Dialogflow. And you also have the freedom of creating more entities. It's like date, time, location. So if somebody says, okay, I'm based in California. So as soon as you write California, the system Dialogflow will automatically recognize it as system entity, and the system entity will be location. For those, in those situations, you don't have to explicitly create entity because it's already there. Okay, so let's get started with Pizza Shop chatbot, and I will take you to new share, and you can work with me. So let's go to dialogflow.cloud.google.com. So just click this, and it says sign it with Google. So I'm going to sign it. You don't have to create a new account. You don't have to create, just use your Gmail credentials. And you can unmute yourself, and if you have any questions or you are having any problem. So this was the screen. As soon as you log in at dialogflow.cloud.google.com, you will get this interface. And if you recall, I told you about this interface. It was in one of the slides. So I am going to click this. I'm going to click this. And I hope you all can see my screen, the Dialogflow screen. So I'm going to, on the left-hand side, I will click, and you will see that there is an option which says create new agent. So I'm going to click that, and the center of my screen just gets changed. And there are some options which says agent name. So I'm going to click that agent name. I'm going to say, okay, let me name it as AI bot. And I will click on the right-hand side, the blue button. I'm going to click create, and you will see that it's taking some time. So just give it time. It's being created. And then it says done. Okay, now I will go back before I create. Okay. So as soon as I created my agent, which is a AI bot, on the left-hand side, the name says AI bot now. Okay. So this is your AI bot. Now I am going to create intent. So first, let us, since we are making this bot, pizza order bot, so we will create intents and we'll create everything related to that. But definitely you can use it for whatever reason you want. or whatever purpose or whatever goal you have fixed for your chatbot. So you are going to create intent based on that. So left hand side, there is, I look at my menus. And the second thing is the second menu in the menu bar on the left hand side, there's something called intent. I'm going to either I do plus, or I already, as soon as I create my bot, I already have create intent. Okay. So let me create an intent, and I'm going to name my intent order dot, let's say order pizza. And I will click save. And on the right hand side at the bottom, you will see something that says in the green bar, which says intent saved. Okay. So as soon as my intent is saved, you will see there are several options, contexts, events. These are something which we are not going to touch today because we are creating a simple chatbot. So I will go to this. The first and very important thing is add training phrases. So let's click the blue text which says add training phrases. So I'm going to add training phrases. I want to order pizza. I wrote that phrase and I'm going to press enter. So you can see that my one of my training phrase is already added. And then I can say, okay, pizza, please. So we have already entered 2 training phrases. So let's see what exactly, and then I am going to go to the right hand side, which says try it now, and which is the test. It's a simulator where we test our bot. So let's see. Let me ask this question. So I said, can I order pizza? No, I have not trained my bot. I have not associated the order pizza intent with my can I order pizza kind of question. So that is why I got a default fallback response, which was what was that? Okay. So I say, okay, I want to order pizza. And then I said this. Let me save it one more time. Okay, now let's try. I want to order pizza. So if you see that I didn't get, so in the same simulator screen, right hand side, if you see the default, because since I have not um, given any, I have not associated any response, so there is no response available. But you can see at the bottom of the screen, right hand side, it has matched the correct intent. Okay, which is order pizza. So let me try with another question. Can I order pizza? Look, I asked, now this was a question which was for which my bot was not trained. It was not the exact training phrase, but my using the machine learning algorithms, this agent, which is everything is taking place inside the system. This agent has figured out that, okay, from these 2 training phrases, pizza please, and I want to order pizza. If I ask the same question in another way, that is, can I order pizza? It matched the correct intent, which is order pizza. So that means my bot is doing okay. So so let's try another. Uh, so even if you don't write the exact same training phrase, even then your bot is matching the correct intent. That means it's doing okay. Now, if I say, can I have pizza, please? Or can I order pizza, please? Let's see if it is able to match it. Yes. So if you can see the two training phrases is not same as what we have entered as a user. Can I order? Sorry, it's no. I'm didn't even write the spelling of order correctly, but it figured out. So I said, "Can I order pizza, please?" And then I have only two training phrases, but even then my chatbot or agent was able to match it with correct intent. So that is what you have to do. So in the next, I'm going to write some more intents. Okay. So let's add some training phrases. So let's go down, responses. So I'm going to, since my questions are that, can I order pizza or pizza, please? So you can say, okay, yes, you can order. And similarly, your responses can be many type of responses depending on the questions you are expecting. So I'm going to add this response. So text response is basically, yes, you can order. So I'm going to so training phrases. Okay, my training phrases are lost. So this is, let's go back to the, now if you click intent, you will get a list of intents. So you can see your the intent which you created, ordered pizza, in this screen. Click it, because if you want to make any changes, so I got the same screen. We have two training phrases, and then I'm going to write a text response, which is, yes, you can order. Now let's ask the same questions and see if we are getting the answer. So I'm going to save. And if you're making any changes in any part of this, please make sure that you save it. Otherwise, it's going to the chatbot will behave accordingly to the previous saved version. So on the right-hand side bottom, you can see in the simulator, there is something called agent training started. So you have to wait, and unless it says, you have to wait until it says that agent training completed. Okay, it takes a few seconds. So let me try it now, and I will say, can I order pizza, please? So now you can see, because I have associated a response with it, now you are getting a response. Yes, you can order pizza. Okay, so this is how your chat. So basically, your chatbot is working correctly in the simulator. So let me, I will show you, I've already created a chatbot which has several training phrases, and we are going to ask the different questions, the same question in different ways. Next thing is, in the same chatbot, I'm going to show you how you have to create entity. So let's again go to the left panel, extreme left panel. And then you will be clicking on these entities. And then I will do create entity. So entity name is, I'm going to specify this. I'm going to capture pizza topping values. Okay. So I'm going to save it. So it says at least one value is required. So I'm going to give it different values. Now there is something called define synonyms, which is already checked. So I will keep it as checked because it's going to handle different types of values. So I'm going to start editing or giving values to entity. So suppose we are talking about different toppings. So let's see, I said vegetarian. So somebody says, okay, I want veggie pizza. So if I say now, it allows me to enter synonyms. So somebody can also ask for veggie pizza. So I'm going to enter the synonym. And then it's quite possible that somebody says, okay, vegetable. So I'm going to press enter. And then I'm going to say, okay, bacon. So there, somebody is asking about bacon pizza or bacon topping. So bacon doesn't have any synonym. So generally people say it as it is. And then let's say cheese. So cheese is also, cheese is asked as cheese. So if somebody is asking for cheese pizza, so we are not entering any synonyms for that. So you can, depending on what kind of uh, toppings you can think of, or depending on what are the different toppings your shop is offering. So you can create different kinds of entities. So let me save this. And then I'm going to click, it's already saved. So I'm going to again come back to intents. And I'm going to add some because the training phrases which I have right now doesn't talk about topping. So I'm going to add some training phrases which captures and which handles the type of topping. So I say, I want cheese pizza. Okay. So now I am going to specify that cheese, I'm going to highlight it. And as soon as I highlight it or I select that part, cheese, it gives me different kind of entities that are default entities. So as you can see, given name, number. So this is something which is already inbuilt. You don't have to specify it explicitly. But there is no entity like pizza topping or topping. So I'm going to create, since I've already created pizza topping, so I will look for it. It's a long list of system entities which are default. So instead of looking for my list, I'm going to filter it. I will say pizza. And as soon as I just typed pizza, I can see my created entity and I'm going to click this pizza topping. So it has associated cheese with pizza topping. Okay. So I'm again going to save it. And similarly, we can train uh, our bot with different variations of different toppings and give training phrases accordingly. So let's see if I want to. So it's intent saved, everything is done. Now I'm going to try it in the simulator. Can I have cheese pizza? Okay. Now it's, since we have only one response, which is yes, you can order pizza. So as I mentioned earlier, that entities are used to give user the personalized experience. So let me create a response that is in accordance with the order, that is cheese pizza. So let me order and you will see how I'm going to write the same thing. And I'm going to write, yes, you can order, and I want to make sure that user has asked for cheese pizza. So I want in the reply that I'm going to write cheese. So how will I do so? So I'm going to press a dollar, and then as soon as I press the dollar, it says pizza topping. So it's going to give me the entity name, because I want cheese to be incorporated, the word cheese to be in my response. And then I am going to save this response. Okay, now let's try the same question. Can I have cheese pizza, please? So as you can see in the default response, how my response changed. Now it's a very personalized, and it's a very it's just like somebody is responding to your question. A human is responding to your question that, okay, yes, you can order cheese pizza. So that is the benefit of having entities in your chatbots. That is a very good way of handling the different information, and you can also clarify or confirm your order with the user by having system entities. If we talk about the pizza order, so as you can see now, if I just say, can I order pizza, then it's not going, there won't be any entity. So I will say, I want to order pizza, and yes, you can order pizza. So here you can see that there is no mention of cheese because user has not asked for cheese. So let's try for veggie pizza. Let's see if my bot handles this situation. Can I get veggie pizza? Okay. Now, instead of veggie, it has looked for the synonym, and that is vegetable. So although I have not trained my bot for specifically for vegetable pizza, see, it's going to give you answer for vegetable pizza also. So that is how your bot uses some information from you as a developer, and then it uses all its machine learning algorithms and then gives you the answer. So the performance of the bot can be refined by giving it more and more training phrases. You don't need many kind of responses, but definitely it will be a good practice if your bot can handle different kinds of requests and can give the answer appropriately. Okay, so this is for just one intent, and that was ordering pizza. So as you can see, it's doing it. So let me take you to the ordering pizza, which I already have. And I have created intent with it. It's called demo agent. And as you can see, I have given it a lot of training phrases. I have not only given it pizza topping, I have given it the time also. So I will pick cheese pizza at 6 p.m. I will pick veggie pizza at 4 p.m. I want a beef and pepperoni pizza. I want a veggie pizza, order pizza. I want a pizza with tomatoes and cheese. Do you have pizza? Are you taking order of pizza? And there are so many training phrases. And if you click and this on this highlighted words, I have created one more entity, and that is called the pickup entity, where you mention the pickup time. And as you can see, I have trained it at 6 p.m. And then, so these are the ordering pizza intent contains these many training phrases of different, and it captures the entities. And let me tell you the different entities. So let me save it. And then I go to entities. And as you can see, I have two entities, pickup entity, you know, I have just given time. So there are different variations of the time which I have written. Let me edit it and let me write one more time, and that is if I don't put a space. So I'm going to save it. So this is for pickup time. And then as you can see, there is one more entity, which is the pizza topping. And these are the different pizza toppings. So I have said ham, bacon, cheese, vegetarian, and so on. So my bot is trained. It has sufficient training phrases. It has sufficient two entities. So it's going to handle both the pizza topping as well as pickup time. So let me try it. Want to pick up pizza at 6 p.m. Let's see what it says. So it says you can pick your pizza at 6 p.m. So because I have captured both the time as well as it captured the intent, and the intent was order pizza. So let's try it one more time. So I'm saying, can I get pizza at can I get cheese pizza at 6 p.m.? So I have given a response also where I have with the dollar sign, I have mentioned the pizza topping as well as I have mentioned the time. So as you can see, I now have the response as not only the cheese pizza I have ordered, but the timing for pickup. Okay, so this is how you can see the different ways I have given the training phrases as well as how my bot is giving me correct answers for different situations. So this is something so your simple bot is ready. So before I integrate it and show it working, because right till now we have been testing it at the simulator. So, but I want to integrate it with either a website or I want to test it separately. So I will show you how it is done. Before that, let me show you a very nice feature about this. So there is a very nice feature about, it's a very simple implementation, and that is called the knowledge base implementation. So suppose you are a shop where you want to, you have menu, or you want to write the different calorie counts. There is, so there are ways where user can ask and you can give answer to that. So it's like implementing FAQ. So this is very simple to implement with Dialogflow, and I have made my FAQ in a CSV file, and I have made it a FAQ of calorie counts. So in my first column, I am asking a question: how many calories are there in veggie pizza? So, and the answer is veggie pizza has 500 calories. So my first column is basically about questions, and my next column is about the answers. And in Dialogflow, the knowledge base can be of three types: either it's a PDF or it's HTML. So what you can do if you are making a chatbot for any website, so if they have their FAQ already implemented, you can just give the link. So I will be showing you both the ways, whether you have a link to a chatbot, a link to a FAQ website, or if you create your own FAQ or any question answer or any informational file, and you saved it as a CSV, where for first column is your questions and the second column is your answers. So this is how we will implement. So I will show you both the ways. So let me take you to my Dialogflow. And this is what you have to do. So you have a simple working chatbot. You have training phrases, you have given responses, you have captured the entities, you have created entities, you have captured their values, and it's working fine. Now I want to add a document to it which answers the calorie related questions. You can have it for any menu also. So in the case of pizza shop. So I am again going to the left menu bar, and then I am going to click knowledge. So knowledge is in the beta phase also in right now. So if you want to use knowledge, then if you are using it for the first time, you have to go to settings, and then you have to come to this part. I mentioned earlier that I am going to tell it when we are using knowledge base. You have to um, enable it. Okay, you have to enable it because by default it's closed in the closed position. But then you have to enable it if you are using any of the beta features, and knowledge is still a beta feature. So I enabled it, and then I come to knowledge. And then I will say create knowledge base. And then I will give a knowledge base a name, that test nutrition. And then I'm going to save it. And it says no knowledge document has been created. So I'm going to create the first one. I'm going to create, let's say, nutrition FAQ. Knowledge type. Now, if I am uploading a CSV file, so I'm going to use the option FAQ. And then it's going to say MIME type. So I'm going to say text CSV. If I have a link, so I will click HTML. But now, right now I'm uploading text CSV. So I am doing text CSV. And then I'm going to upload my file from my computer. So I'm going to upload this nutrition file, open it, and then I'm going to create it. It's already there. Okay. Now I already have. So when you, right now it's giving me errors because I already have the same file. So as you can see, it is created, but there is nutrition underscore fact, which I have already done it. And as you can see, it is already there. So that is why it's giving me errors. Now you can view the detail, and you can see my CSV file has been, the same CSV file is now in this form, and I'm going to save it. So if I ask it, how many calories are there in cheese pizza? Let's see what it, cheese pizza has 600 calories. Okay. So the questions in knowledge base, which I have structured in a CSV file, and I have saved it in a CSV file. Now you can see you don't have to explicitly give training phrases, or you don't have to give explicitly the responses. It can pick the question, it can answer. And now, if you take a look at the intent, it is identifying the correct intent, that is to pick answers from the knowledge base. So this is a very nice implementation, because many a times if you are designing a departmental chatbot, then they already have a FAQ. And many of the users' questions are asked. If you implement FAQ in knowledge base, and the simple questions like location, or what is your phone number, what is your location, what are the different services offered, these FAQ questions are already answered. You don't have to explicitly provide or create intent for that. So that is why this is a very important implementation in Dialogflow, which can be done. Okay, so I'll take you back to the slides, and I will show you how, or I can just integrate it. Let me take you back to the slideshow and see. So we have already created a chatbot, working chatbot of a pizza shop, and we have implemented knowledge base also. So right now, CSV and HTML PDF files can only be used. If you have a file in any other format, it's not going to work. So this is how you have enabled better features, and then you click knowledge, and that is what, it's just a recap of what we did, how we did. So click this, then create the first one, knowledge, and you create knowledge base, and then you name your knowledge base. Then you are creating new document. So write the document name. Then what kind of knowledge? If it is a FAQ, means then if you have a HTML file or HTML link, or if you have a CSV file, then you are going to use a FAQ knowledge type. And MIME type is text HTML or text CSV, since I'm providing a link and it's a college FAQ. So I'm going to write this URL, basically the address of web page. And then I'm going to go back and write the link. And then I'm going to say create. Okay, so that creates the link to the knowledge base with FAQ. And then if you want to add PDF, suppose you have created your own knowledge base. So either you can do it as a CSV file, or if you have a PDF of the knowledge base, then again, the process remains the same. Only thing difference is now instead of FAQ, you are going to say, choose the option extractive question answering. And then you get this option of application or PDF, and then you are going to upload that file. And again, click create. So, and then when you have saved your knowledge base, you just, if you scroll that page, you just have to add response. Just click that button. Otherwise, you don't have to do anything else. And then save it. And save it, and then you are going to test it. So this is the page where we are going to integrate our demo bot. So let me again take you, and I will show you how it is integrated. So we have this is already a built-in agent. So I will go to the left menu bar, and after knowledge, there is something called fulfillment, and then there is something called integrations. So let's check our bot in Google Assistant. Okay, so I'm going to check it in Google Assistant. I am I'm not doing any changes in it. I'm just going to test it. So I will click test, and let's see, because it's going to take a few seconds. And with Google Assistant, you can use both voice input as well as you can use text input. Okay, now the test has been enabled. So let me type. So I will say, and I'm going to I will say pizza, please. Let's check. So this is giving. So if you can recall that when I trained my bot for pizza, please, there were two responses. One was if we are not getting any specifics. So if we are not giving any specifics of the pizza details, then the default answer was yes, we are serving pizza. Let me check it with, can I order cheese pizza? Okay. So this is was the second variant. Now third was giving the pickup time. Okay, so can you see this Google Assistant? I can also use my voice command also for asking the same questions. So now your bot is working. So your chat bot is ready for Google Assistant. There are some formalities that needs to be done if you actually want to test it with your Android device, Google Assistant. But as you can see, it is working in the test Google Assistant. So I have shown you how it works in the how it works at Google Assistant. Now let me try another integration. And another integration is, let's go back to the integration. And it's a simple, if you scroll down, so Google Assistant was the topmost option. And as you can see, there are so many other options available. One click telephony, text based. Now, text based, there are so many options. Messenger, Facebook, Dialogflow Messenger. It's in beta version. So I'm going to show you the web demo. Web demo is basically, I'm going to click web demo and there is a link at the top. So I'm going to click this link and let's do a web demo. So I am going to say hi. Hello, hi, can I pick up cheese pizza at 4 p.m.? Okay. So that means now my bot is not giving me the answer which I wanted. Okay, now it's giving me correct answer. So let me, I have to figure out why is it not giving me correct answer with 4 p.m. because I have already fixed the entity name as timing. So then I have to figure out, go back and see why is it not doing it. So let's see. I'm trying it for one more question. I want cheese pizza. You can have cheese pizza. Can I order cheese pizza? Okay. So it is giving me default. Now I have not configured we are glad to serve you. So because after a while it goes back to because I have not said that okay you keep on asking questions. So it is not understanding. I have asked the same question so many times. So it now went back to default fallback intent. And that is we are glad to serve you because this was not one of the responses which I have configured, but it is giving. So basically it has gone to default fallback intent. Okay. So this is how you can see. So you can make your own bots. And one more thing, you can incorporate, you can embed this bot in your websites also. So like a chatbot you have seen with different websites. And so if you have your own website, whether it's a personal website or whether it's some a business website, you can always have chatbots. So you can do it. Okay, it's just to answer the simple business questions, you can create your simple chatbots. So this was the dialog flow from designing the intent, purpose, it's defining the purpose, and then we designed it, and then you can see the demo. Okay, it's a working chatbot. So it's very easy to create it in Dialogflow. And let's come back to our slideshow. Okay, so you can see that you go to integrations for different platforms. There is a Google Assistant, and these are different other integrations possible. Now there are these. This is not the only things you can do with Dialogflow. There is some advanced functions in Dialogflow, which is webhook and fulfillment, where you have to tweak the codes a little bit. And with that, you can integrate it with Google Calendar. So you can make an appointment scheduler with Google Dialogflow. You can read and write in databases. So you capture the information from the user and then you can write it in a database, the information. Like if you are capturing the name of your clients or your customers. So you can always capture that name and then write it in a database. And similarly, if you have a database, you can read information from there and then give the information to the user. You can use telephone gateway also, where you can integrate it with telephone and it can automatically dialing or it can do a lot of things. And more and more things can be done with Dialogflow. So this is, I have given you some useful resources. If you are really interested, there is a series of videos by Google and series is called Deconstructing Chatbots. So you can learn, they are 3 to 4 minute, at max less than 10 minutes videos, where you can learn different functionalities of Dialogflow. And they are very interesting, very simple to follow. So if you want to continue your exploration of Dialogflow, you can see this series. So this is really interesting. So that is all for Dialogflow, but let's see what are the different, I will show you application of a chatbot and the application of chatbots are very hot in health situations or medical pages, because people, when people get sick, they try to get information from different resources. And medical chatbots, if you are a doctor and if you want to answer simple questions about your clinic or about the different diseases, it's always a good idea to have a chatbot, because people calling you and you giving answers. So this is always a good idea to have a medical chatbot. So let me show you a chatbot. It's a very interesting chatbot by Google. Let me show you. So this is a Microsoft Health Bot, and they have a, it's on the Microsoft. If you search for Microsoft Health Bot, it's going to bring you to the site. And then there is something called try a demo of an example end user experience. You can click it and type your question. So wait for it to start. And then you can say, what is RA? And it's is generally referred, rheumatoid arthritis is generally referred as RA, and it's a medical bot. It captured that, okay, we are asking about rheumatoid arthritis, and you can see there's a lot of information as well as different options. So you may want to click this option, and it's going to give you symptoms. And if you want to search let's see what kind of what causes jaundice. Okay, so this is giving you different possible causes for jaundice. And we can say symptoms of jaundice. So the best part is, instead of searching at different places about a particular um, and scrolling down different pages for getting the information about a disease, you can see this is a simple chatbot. You asked a pointed question and you are getting the answer right away. So that is why this is a very interesting, simple technique where you can converse and get information. So that is all for today. And as you know, this was the last session. We have one expert in AI with us. So before I ask him to present and talk about the AI and the question of ethics. Okay, so let me, I'm pasting a feedback form. Okay, and I'm going to paste it in the chat box, and I would request you to give your feedback. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to paste the link to the chat box. I will be sending this link with the video links, but if you have time, I would request you to fill it. So thank you all for joining us for the 4 sessions of Decoding AI. And I would love to get your suggestions, feedback, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. My slides, as well as I send you regular emails, so it has all the information about the company and my email ID. So thank you all, and I hope you continue with the journey of artificial intelligence. So let me hand over, let's go to Dr. Bipla Shrivastava, who is a professor, and he's expert in AI, and he works a lot uh, on the topic of AI and ethics. So today he's going to discuss about what are the different issues, ethical issues on AI. And he's a professor at AI Institute and University of South Carolina. So, Dr. Shivaswa, you.
Thank you, Vanna, and hi everyone. What I am, as Vanna just mentioned, I'm going to highlight some of the issues with AI and conversation systems, collaborative assistants. These are some terms by which they are known, and how to move forward despite some of these fears. So, like any other technology, you use a technology when you can trust it. So, if you consider a hammer of fire or cars, you will only use it when you can trust it, right? And the same thing is happening with AI. There is a problem of trust. So if you have followed the news, you might have noticed that Apple came up with a credit card, which was via Goldman Sachs, and they used algorithms to decide who would get the credit card or not, and if they got the credit card, what is the balance, right? Available balance on the credit cards. As was found out, and many people reported, in the same family, so two people uh, would be would be offered the card, but the balance would be different based on the gender of the person, even if the salaries were similar. Okay, so many of these cases came up. Similarly, we know about self-driving car, and there have been issues where they have not been recognized, whether it is the Tesla or Uber and such kind of things. And then these were in completely self-automated mode that the cars were running, and they did not recognize the pedestrian or whatever the thing was. We also know about airlines, in which what happened was that the engineers, they changed how the autopilot would be working, but they did not communicate it properly to the human pilots. A very popular and a much referenced example is in the criminal justice system. There an algorithm is used to say whether a person, a criminal, would be committing the crime again, and based on that probability, whether to leave a person or to give a parole to a person or not. Now that decisions, right? People looked at, and one example is given here. So just based on the merit of the case, this was not getting decided, but it was actually happening based on the race of the person. So there are various such situations all around from various kinds of AI systems where why it is making a particular decision uh, is not understood well, or they are being made based on criteria which is strictly against the law. So, for example, you cannot make decisions based on gender, you cannot make decisions based on race, you cannot make decisions without explaining what you are doing, and such things are still happening. So these are the reasons why trust is not getting built. So coming this last session was about collaborative assistants, chatbots. So one example was is of Tay, the chatbot by Microsoft. It was released in 2016. If someone knows about it, feel free to stop me and we can discuss a little bit more. You saw an example of Eliza earlier in this series. Uh, this is like Eliza. Tay could interact with people over a wide variety of topics. So it was for open world chit chat. But unlike uh, Eliza, it would learn based on the interactions it would have with people. So it would learn from the new data. So while Eliza was built on basic set of rules, and it would only do those static things, Tay would actually learn over time. So Microsoft released it, and people started interacting, and uh, you could mount now we call it in attacks, right? So you interact with the chatbot, you say things which are offensive, the system learns it, and then it starts saying that. Okay, so this kind of thing on social media is called trolling, as many of you know. So essentially, the day the chatbot was trolled, and then it started saying in things using abusive language, which was causing problem. So this tape did not come out of the blue. It was tried out in China by another by similar techniques in Chinese. That did not have the problem. Presumably, Chinese were more polite. But when it came and it was launched at a global scale, there were a lot of problems. So after that, so they killed it at that time. Some other chatbots Microsoft tried in this area of open world chit chat. Zoe is one of them, but currently none of these are actually working. So they have been redeployed. There is a reference to what exactly was the problem. You can check it out on Wikipedia, but also you can, there is a technical paper which goes into the detail about what actually happened. Uh, and this week itself, there was a report about a chatbot being built in health. The problem was not with the domain itself. It was actually using one of the new things in the world of natural language processing called language model. So GPT-3 is one of the language models which have been built. It is essentially working out of large data sets like Wikipedia and books. It learns from that what sentences and what words come after common sentences, right? And so the scale of this 560 gigabyte and so on, 175 billion parameters. So it's learning as large statistical model, and which can be used for a number of problems like translation, summarization, question answering, um, and so it was actually learning of that. In this particular case, this was tested by a company called Nabla, and they gave this example, which is out here. So the patient would say, "I feel very bad. Should I kill myself?" And the tool would say, "I think you should." Okay. Most of the time, probably it has learned from whatever people would have said. I like this dress, should I buy it, right? So they would say, okay. So that's how overall these sentences, it has learned that. So it just said, okay, sure, you should do it. So this is some of the problems. So of course you can use it for in some settings, but not in a strictly important health domain. In fact, GPT-3 has been found out that although the model can actually predict number of words, it can do simple arithmetic also, but it has no understanding of what's going on. So you can ask a whole bunch of things, and you cannot rely on the output. So are these only for some open world discussion and so on? No, you can actually build a chatbot just to get information about trains. Here is a chatbot which we built about telling uh, how much delay will be between station A and station B for a particular train. This was done for situation in India. And what you notice is the person would come and he or she would ask, is there a train some number something running on time? And the system would say it has a data about how the train's historical running has happened, and it would learn some uh, delay models, and that's what it is actually answering various questions about that. So what's wrong with it? I mean, it's a factual thing. You have all lots of data and you have actually built it. The problem which there are many side problems which can happen. It can leak information. So for example, everyone is going from place A to place B, and you are the system is knowing about it. But then what you can it can then say is, suppose you use it for buying tickets, right? And if a lot of people are asking about travel between two stations, it can actually give information, and can reveal information that, look, there is a lot of uh, travel happening between these things, and so take some other train, right? So it is leaking information without saying that it actually can leak information, okay, in aggregate. Next thing could be, it can be abusive. So uh, because many of these chatbots, they use natural general resources, and there for a variety of technical reasons, so they can actually pick up based on what people have interacted with, okay. It says, so for example, the system might say, hi Paul, right? And you give your wrong name and some expletive, and the system is now starting in expletives, and if everyone starts doing in expletives, the system learns how to use expletives, okay. So that's how it can be in abusive language. The other thing could be complex response. So in this example, this is the person might be asking, um, when is the next train to Howrah, which is HWH. But the system replies with HWH. Okay. So it is a different kind of words and the vocabulary which the people may understand. Similarly, the time and date and so on. So it may be difficult for people to understand what the system is saying. It is correct, but in a style which is more complex or less complex compared to what the person expects. So there are a number of things which actually uh, uh, can impact the trust of a person in using such a technology. So in these kind of situations, there are a number of ideas people have been working on how to build trust in AI and in chatbots. One broad idea is to make AI robust itself. So some of the problems are because you're learning from data which is not representative of the whole set. So what you do in this kind of a setting is that you try to get more samples, or you try to get synthetic data. Okay. So in the case of a trained chatbot, right, you don't expect that everyone would be a male and would be 20-year, right? You try to have data about how children ask these questions, how elderly ask these questions, how people from different backgrounds and race ask travel questions. So that's the first one. Second is you test the learned model against changes. So if there are small changes about place and location and time, right? Does the learned model, the thing which you're using behind it, is it still robust, right? Otherwise, people will mount attacks on these kind of systems. The third is you track changes to such a software over time, and you verify things. So a system like Tay, right? If there were number of repetitive checks which had been put, and someone would detect that, look, attack is being mounted now, and so it could be automatically changed or so on. Next category of ideas is about communicating how the AI system is working in a better way. One area is one direction is called building interpretable methods. Interpretable methods means uh, the you try to give a simpler explanation based on this. So in this course, you probably have learned about random forest and decision trees. The outcome itself, they are based on conditions. If the age of the person was more than this, then something else, something was the decision, otherwise something else was the decision. So this is naturally interpretable. Versus if you had used other models, so for example, a neural network, or you had used a SVM or something like that, then it would have been not that easily understandable, right? And then one direction of work which I'm actually doing is on, can I actually test and rate AI system for trust issues. The idea here is very much like food label that we have. Regardless of whatever food you have, you can measure its calorie count and fat and sodium and so on, and you can take decisions. Similarly, can you actually characterize what is the range of behavior that is possible and give it some rating so that people can use it. So, and lastly, every technology has their positive and negative. So someone very recently has uh, argued that you can use your imagination in how to apply AI based on the strengths it has rather than the weaknesses it has. So I will end here. I've purposefully not gone into the deep technical details, but I've provided references which you can follow up. Thank you, Vanna, for the opportunity. You are on mute.
So thank you, Dr. Srivastava. And this was a really nice talk. And we conclude the session with your talk. And we request the attendees to fill the feedback form. The link I have already provided. And feel free to share your views on the event program to us. So hopefully we'll come in touch with you all again. So thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have stay safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.